Welcome to another episode of Que Madre en Bienestar CCC. We are missing our sister Siobhan Hoover, but we'll see her next time. You are here with Alejandra or Ali Cortez and Ana Rosa Rizo Centino. And today we are talking about hope in the midst of difficult times. So there's a lot to say on this topic, especially with the days being so gloomy and rainy. How are you feeling about this?
I am okay. So my bones are telling me like, solecito, I need some warmth. I want some of that sun. And then my mind and like my morale and ethics are like, we need the rain. So it's like I'm muchas tormentas, a lot of torments within my own self of like how I feel about it, what I think about it, and also some of the like kind of some of the fears around this about the well-being of others and the well-being of, my family in the future. Like it's striking up a lot, like it's unearthing a lot. And I like it. And at the same time, I like it because I'm like, okay, I'm uncovering, I'm discovering here. And I also feel like it strikes up conversations collectively. Like I've been talking to a lot of like, my colleagues and friends, and we all happen to be Latina, and we're all saying like, oh, like, quiero solecito, I want to have a beach day. And then like kind of going back into like, but you know what, this is good. Like, we're, like in this acceptance. And I kind of just bring up like, it's okay to desire, a change, something different. There's nothing wrong with desiring that. And it's really good that we're also learning how to be with open hands with this too. So there's a lot of lessons, a lot of life lessons that we're gonna need, after, as you were, talking before we were recording, like after this, there's also gonna be the florecitas. There's going to be other things that could be blooming after these storms. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place.
And that's okay to be all over the place. One thing about this is we're noticing weather in this state that has never happened before, or at least not in my memory of being alive. Like there was a tornado in Montebello that tore the roof off of a bunch of places, and I think somebody even died because of injuries from it. So, that's pretty drastic. And I think that the climate change deniers are kind of maybe starting to wonder about their stance. In my line of work, being in the Central Coast Climate Justice Network's manager, I feel like it's important to mention, that climate change is real, and we need to take care of each other, and we need to make government more accountable around providing safe spaces for communities for all of these drastic weather changes. I think Ventura County is starting to be better about having shelters ready for drastic weather like this. Because I don't live in Santa Barbara County, I don't know how they're doing, but I just think while all of this difficulty is happening, we also have to reach out to each other, because even like SAD is real seasonal affect disorder, right? When people get really sad, and in some cases depressed because of, gloomy weather. I definitely used to be one of those people. And I just think that it's important to, yes, it's okay to desire like different times, but also that acceptance of like what's happening now, so that we can see that there are going to be hopefully better times ahead. They're predicting a super bloom after these rains, and we have been in a drought. Like California is notorious for having droughts, and so I really think we need this, and sometimes the hardest times in my life, during them, I'm like, God, why are you bringing this to me? But afterwards, I'm able to appreciate. For example, now I'm in such a healthy employment situation, but it took very unhealthy employment situations to make me see like what I'm actually looking for in a workplace, and what I can actually have that makes me feel whole. And I think that wholeness is really important.
No, that is so true. Ana Rosa Rizzo, my beautiful, beautiful soul sister. I love when you speak. It just really speaks to like my soul. And you speak so much truth and so much wisdom into, like the journey we're all in collectively of how like we're really put in a place where we have to be agile and like work through knowing that we have to move through situations and honor that part that put us in distress, that part that was really stressful. um and like I learned from this, right? So collectively, like here in Santa Barbara County, we're seeing, just from the previous, natural disasters that have happened, there has been changes, there have been discussions, there have been more on the operational, like what to do, how do we evacuate, like how do we get people out, how do we connect, like there is definitely that already in place. And now it's like, okay, now we have to think about tornadoes, like, so in that way, like it's hard because I know that this impacts everybody differently too. Like people have been having to leave their homes, having to go in shelters, and really be in a state of crisis. And so like my heart goes there too in that part. And then also like we have the responsibility to level up, right? And I'm talking about like situations of helping others, helping ourselves as well. Like as we are navigating in these things that we've never seen and they're here, and to have that agility to like take a deep breath, move through it, right? And then know and hold on to something that's so important that we cannot let go of, something that our ancestors were so good about. We're like holding on to that hope for the future. Like that is such a pillar in being able to not just recover, but like continue our work, our devotion, our passion when we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? That's like there is still something really important. Like this morning actually, I woke up and I I hardly ever do this. I was like, you know what, let me see what's outside right now. I don't know. So I open my window and I see a rainbow. And I mean, like that doesn't really happen around here. So I just like felt so like this is what we've been talking about. Like you and I talked about it yesterday. I was like, this hope. And I held on to that vision, to the rainbow that I was looking at, and then it disappeared. And I was like, thank you. Like even hope disappears, but I have that vision now. I have that in my mind and my system of that's what hope looks like. I felt
And
that.
you know what's possible.
Yes, right? Like it is possible. And so I think that's something that in like you mentioned, like seasonal affective disorder, it's real, depression during these times, phobias, panic, like this is all, you know, at this point normal, right? To feel all this because we've gone through a lot. And so to hold on to learning more about yourself during this time can be really powerful about like, how do I learn new coping, skills or new paradigms, new reframes to be able to continue in what this world is offering right now and that I can offer back, so I can continue doing the work that I do to be the leader that I am, to be the community member, the mother, the father, the sister, el tío, la tía, la abuelita, abuelito, like all these roles are still very, very important, even through all this, these hard times, these challenging times.
Want to help us with station identification?
Claro que sí. Sí, sí. Okay, everybody, you're listening to Que Madre on 96.5 FM LP. This is the show of Que Madre. We're talking about hope in these challenging times and how to hold on to it. You're listening to Ana Rosa Rizzo. We are missing our soul sister, Siobhan Hoover, and I am Ali Cortez, a las órdenes. And here we are on Que Madre on 96.5 FM LP.
That was beautiful.
Hi, thank you. I'm out here like.
One of the ways I hold on to hope, or as we say, Esperanza, is my hermanas del alma, like you, and like sticking close to each other and doing things like this show. And I think it's just so important at any age, but especially I think as you get a little bit older, you just want people that are good for you, to be around you. Whereas like when you're younger, you kind of want those party friends, right? To just like do craziness with because you're young and you're enjoying your youth. And I mean, I still feel young at heart, but I think I'm definitely in this place of healing and wanting to be healthy. And so I no longer surround myself by folks who are dramatic. Like if you seem dramatic, I stay the heck away from you. Um, and so, you know, like just people with beautiful, positive energy, like you, Ali, like Siobhan. That's really important. So definitely think about those people in your life that are good influences and stick around them, especially in those times that you're feeling sad or depressed. And I guarantee you that that'll help.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Quality over quantity, right? It's like I remember and you know, when I was growing up, I was like, I just want to have a lot of friends and I want them to all like, you know, be really, you know, like part of my life, all 100 people, all the schools. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, like that that quality we transmit to each other a lot, whether we want to or not. It's just part of our nature. It's part of our systems in place, right? Like, you know, like even if I don't know how, like when you're with somebody, you know, they're like responding like they're okay, but like there's part of you that's like something's off about this person, like something's not right, and it's because we have those systems in place to collectively be there for each other when we can't verbalize, or for whatever it is, there's a barrier that can't be shared, that someone can still come in and support and uplift that person by just saying, I noticed this and it's not usually like you. Is there, you know, like an invitation, una invitación to have cariño in your life when it's, you know, a little bit more stormy inside of you, right? Because like that's it. We're so incredible. Like we can smile and on the inside, right? We're like, oh, trágame tierra, right? So yeah, it's beautiful to know and know all these parts of us. Know all of these parts of us, even within ourselves when we don't have access to like our quality friends, or if they're busy, or you know, there's something going on. I always like to go back to like even within ourselves at this point in our lives, we have wounded parts and we have healed parts so that they can connect with each other. You know, like what are those like healed parts that can come in and just give you a little bit of that like calorcito, a little bit of that sun, you know, like a little peak, and say, hey, this part of you that is activated, that is hurting, that is scared, like there's parts of you that are not, and that's okay. We can have a conversation together and see what happens, explore that. um yeah, it's parts of us, parts of us.
Well, like I know there's a part of me that will never be healed, and that's the part that misses my daughter who passed away. Um, I didn't plan on talking about this, but I just think it's something that's really on my heart. Because her birthday, she would have turned 9 years old on the 18th, and the anniversary of her passing was on the 20th. So like every year I brace myself for those 3 days. But like my body, it's like it's bracing itself. So then by the 21st, I'm like completely spent. And I had to sleep so much on the 21st just because like my body had no energy. But the people that are in my life who understand that and don't try to just like make it better by saying a few words, because there's nothing you can really say about that, you know, like parents are not supposed to outlive their children. So I appreciate when people don't feel the need to make it better, and are just like there to just be there, you know, like just like silent acceptance. Because that loss, I kind of never wanted to not be part of me, because it's like a reminder of how much I loved and continue to love her, you know. And I think with grief, it's just something that's so taboo to talk about. And even though it really is terrible in some ways, like it's also taught me a lot. For example, it taught me that our relationships don't end when someone passes away. And like she's still very vocal in different ways. Like on every year for her birthday and the anniversary of her passing, I plan on certain rituals and things to do to honor her. So there's like a little angelita that I bought from New Mexico that I wanted to put on her altar on the anniversary of her passing. But for some reason, it just felt really loud in my house, and I needed to go out into nature, all the way to Ojai. And I found a table that I sat at, and a little bee, una abeja, came and sat right next to me on the table. And it didn't just come and leave, like it sat there for minutes on end. And I started to even wonder if something was wrong with it, because it wouldn't like leave my side. Um, and I started talking to her, and I was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need something?" Because I remembered that if bees are hurting, or if they're having trouble flying, if you give them a little bit of water with sugar, it kind of helps revive them. So I was about to get up and go look for water, to bring it. And right before I got up, it charges straight at me and then flies straight up. And it keeps flying straight up until I can't see it anymore. And to me, that was like a message that she's okay, you know, because when she was passing away, we were trying to revive her. Like we were just not able to. And maybe she had other plans, right? Because when people become ancestors, they still have a mission, right? And they're still out there helping us and praying for us and doing what they can to make this world better. And at least that's how I feel. And, you know, I'm not trying to indoctrinate anyone about how you have to believe in heaven or anything, but I think there is something beyond whatever you want to call it. And it's just a recognition that even though we can't see certain things, it doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. No, Ana Rosa, thank you so much for sharing and being with us and talking about your experience and like, like to show us that, sometimes we do want to go into like save. I'm like, I want to save you. I love you. I want to save you. I want to take you away from this pain. And what you're sharing is so profound. It's so important for us to understand, to be able to help, each other, to be there collectively, that, that's a part of you that's important, right? That you're like, don't take this grieving away from me. Don't try to save me, right? Be with me. You can be with me, right? And that's really powerful. And like, yeah, that B is a message like that we all I believe that there's like the world is always talking to us, our ancestors, our angels, our the universe, like all like they're always in conversation with us. And it's like when we pause, when we're still, we can receive so much wisdom, right? We can receive so much love that we can't always get access to from other people or from our own selves.
Yeah.
So in that like stillness, in that pausing and conversating with this beautiful being that's like, and the symbol of like bees, right? They're makers. They're like they're strong. Like I love that symbol of a bee. And and that message of like, I'm okay. And that's beyond powerful. And like that's where the hope. It's like we're having conversations with our Madre Tierra, with each other, helping each other and ourselves through all of our individual cargas and the collective cargas. Like that is beyond powerful. And I love that.
Thank you for letting me share. I think it's just kind of funny because I think she definitely has a sense of humor. And oddly enough, this is something that Gloria told me about her sister, even though the only way they would have met was, like in another plane of existence. She said that her sister is very funny. And I think it's true because in the earlier years of like when she had first passed on, she would always appear to me in either bunnies, butterflies, or dolphins. And it's like, all right, you got used to how I show up for you. So now I'm going to see if you're paying attention, and this time it's going to be a bee.
Well, how fun I was like, because the image of like bees are always flying, they're always doing, and that bee is just like, I'm here with you. I'm sitting with you. I'm still with you. That's beautiful and powerful and profound. and healing, right? And very, very healing. And so this is, like, to send this message to all of us, that in our own stories, in our own experiences, when we share this, it's powerful. Stories are medicina. They're medicine to our world, where emotions can be so abstract. Emotions can be like, positive, comfortable, or uncomfortable feelings, emotions, but they're abstract. So stories really give us a way to weave it, all of those emotions, all of our thoughts, into something, a fabric of healing. Una cobijita para ti, something that, a reminder, like, you get to do that. You get to control a lot of your narrative, especially in this world where, like, people are taking narratives and going all over the place, like, global warming doesn't exist. That's a narrative. Right? But like, there's
You're wrong, but yeah,
yeah.
you're wrong, but
It's like,
it is a narrative.
and it's like, no, we get to like create our own fabric here. We get to create our own cobijita, or our little recordadito, like, or a keychain, like, you get to do that with your healing journey. And it's a powerful one, and I encourage people to like join their healing journeys. It's a calling, and
And your cobija de San Marcos.
yeah. Mine was el tigre. There was like this brown, green, and just wrapping myself around it, just like, especially on rainy days.
Mine is also the tigre, but it's like a burgundy color.
Nice. Nice. But yeah, so yeah, powerful messaging. And thank you so much for listening. You're listening to Que Madre Show on 96.5 FMLP. You're listening to Ana Rosa Rizzo and Ali Cortez, a las órdenes, missing our soul sister Siobhan Hoover. Thank you for listening to our station and our show today. We're really grateful that you're here with us today.
So what haven't we talked about? We've talked about rainbows, we've talked about butterflies, we've talked about tornadoes, climate change, being there for each other.
Okay.
And
Can
how
we talk about bones?
Better than quantity.
I think the reason why I talk about bones is because, like, with this kind of weather, like, sometimes we start aching a little bit more too, right? And that will also impact your mental health. So they go really well connected. So, missing the sun is natural. So, it's okay to be like, I missed the sun. I wish I had a beach day, because you are also externalizing what your body is actually needing, right? So we need, with the sun, that vitamin, that it really lets us have more of that vitamin D, and also increases dopamine, this hormone that makes us feel good, that helps us feel, like, more on the positive side of things. So we are missing those components in our chemistry. So it makes sense. I just want to promote it out there. Like, it's okay to desire and want a sunny day, to have more sunnier days, that you miss it. Because I've just noticed that trend of like, but like, I'm okay. I'm grateful. And it's like, it's okay. It's okay to desire the sun. It's okay.
Well, your desires point you to, your direction too, because let's say you're in a relationship that is not healthy and you start recognizing that it's not healthy and you desire a relationship that is healthy, then maybe that desire will help you either get counseling and address your relationship situation that you're in, or it'll help you leave that situation for someone that can value you in a better way, and make you feel honored.
Yes, exactly. It's a way to get you to know yourself so well. Like, if there's a deficiency somewhere, that is a natural, like a vitamin, right? Like, then you want to make sure that you're paying attention to that, and like, okay, something, because you're able to do something about it, right? You can work yourself up to leaving that situation. I'm talking about like some of my previous relationships, right? Like, it took a lot for me to like exit that relationship, right? So even sometimes just like that desire can be very healthy, very, very good for you. And knowing like, okay, what are the next steps, or just planning or dreaming, right? This hope is also about dreaming. Like, what is interfering? What is getting in the way of your dreams? Mi corazón de melón, you deserve to dream. And we forget that, especially as we see more tormentas, especially as we see more of the rain, and we feel a lot of the heaviness that's around us, one way to also bring back is to dream. And that can be a little bit challenging because, like, why should I be dreaming right now? Like, is that impossible right now? Like, are we going to be okay? But there's so much, right? Um, and that's all, kind of like static because you don't know. But the thing about the future is we don't know. So might as well dream. What's a dream that you have, Anna?
I mean, like literal dreams that I just had, or like when I'm awake, I think of my aspirations. Because I actually um, went a period of time of like not really remembering my dreams when I woke up. Um, and I don't know if it's a coincidence that I recognize this bee. And then last night, I actually remember my dreams from last night. Because there were two dreams I had.
A ver.
One was very surreal and involves someone that I don't talk to very much anymore. And there's a little bit of sexual content in it, so I don't know if I can.
On the radio.
No, I'm not going to talk about that one on the radio. But I just think it's so weird. Like, why do we dream certain things?
That is interesting. So from what I understand about our dreams, because how I was just saying, like, our emotions can be so abstract. And so when we're awake and conscious and we're having a lot of abstract feelings, things that we can't make the meaning of it in that moment or place, or it's kind of unconscious, we can filter it and we can suppress it and we can say, no, I'm not going to feel this. However, when you're sleeping, you have no filters, which is great because you can dream if you're flying, things that are not like, logical can be manifested in your dreams. So a lot of our dreams are reflecting emotions, and they're going to manifest, and they're going to be like paintings, live paintings. And it's a beautiful way. I think it's wonderful when you get to like remember what your dreams are, because then you can tune in to yourself, like, everything about your dream is is you. Like, for example, if you're dreaming about a candle, right? The candle is also you. So it's really nice to, like, okay, so every part of your dream is something tied to you. And then there's also very cool, like, powerful messages around all of every aspect of your dream. So yeah, so I'm like, a ver, Ana. Tell us.
Also, my husband said that in his dreams, he's able to recognize that he's in a dream and then decide to do certain things.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever done that in my dreams. How do you get that ability? Because I want to get that ability.
Yeah, that's the lucid dreaming, right? The lucid dreaming. Well, I know that what some people do is they kind of prey on it. They're like, if I have dreams, I want to be able to do something about it. So sometimes you can practice, and that's why, like, dreaming about your goals and aspirations gets you also kind of like wired to be able to do that with your own dreams, right? Some people can do it, some people can't. It's all good. It's just maybe like knowing that that's something you want to do, because it does require like an inkling of consciousness in your dream, right? So it could be also that that person's not fully asleep or is a really deep sleep, but can have some conscious awareness around that. That's, yeah, there's a lot of debate around it.
So, okay, that's interesting. So some people don't believe that that's real, that you can do that.
Yeah, some people don't think it's too, but I mean, research has shown over and over and over that you can, like, it's lucid dreaming, right? Where you're like, I'm in control and I can do this. And I've noticed the times that I've been able to do it is because I'm dreaming towards the morning. So I'm a little bit awake. There's a little bit part of me that's awake.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But so say more about your dream. A ver, dinos el chisme, spill the coffee.
So my daughter and I both play, actually my whole family, we play this game on the Switch called Animal Crossing. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's pretty much what got me through the pandemic. It's this little game where you have a bunch of little animal friends and you kind of create your ideal world and you can make it look however you want it to look. So it was as if I was in the game, but there were people in the game that I knew. So it wasn't just animalito friends. It was like real human life, uh, like real life human friends that I know and have interacted with in the past. And one of them, so it was apparently we were at a swing dance thing, because I don't know if you all have heard in previous episode, I mentioned that I'm a swing dancer. We were at a swing dance conference, and this person who might swing dance, but I have never actually been at a swing dance with her. She happens to come out from behind that main building where Tom Nook and Isabel are at. They're like the ones that help you when you go to the front desk of the city hall. So she comes out from behind of the city hall, and she had definitely just done something sexual with someone, because she was like in her lingerie. And I'm like, what does this mean? Why am I observing this person that I haven't interacted with really in like a few years? Why is she in her lingerie behind the city hall in Animal Crossing? Like, it was just so bizarre and weird. Yeah. And like, she was just so carefree about it. She was just like walking around in her lingerie. And because they call it like the walk of shame the day after, but she didn't appear to have any shame about it. She was just like, yep, I'm in my lingerie and I'm walking home now. Like, no big deal.
Yes. That's pretty powerful. I mean, like when your dream, you're observing but also admiring her? Like, are you like, that's awesome? Or you're kind of like, oh my God, like what's your response in your dream, like as you?
I was just like, damn girl, go ahead.
Yes. Yes. I love it because it's like there's so much of like that the animals, it's like, oh, like there's innocence and then also freedom, right? It's like this liberation of like, I'm going to be myself in a place that's such an institution, right? Such an institution. Be like, I'm coming out of it like almost like reborn, like, and I'm in my lingerie and I'm positive about my body and what I wear and my power, my feminine power. I'm in it, and for you to be like, yes, like there's a lot of like you encouraging yourself, you liberating yourself, you coming out and being like, there's still, that's just like what I'm interpreting as you're speaking to that. But like, most important is like, that's could be what you're also, we're feeling in that moment.
Well, I think just as a mom, I think people don't always see you anymore as a sexual being. It's like, even though, by having kids, it's clear to the world that you have had sex in order to have these human beings, right? But it's like, there's this desexualization of mothers. And it's like, we're still human, we're still, in our partnerships. So there's no reason for, but then there's like the uber sexualization too, right? The MILF title that people get. Yeah. So it's like, there's no way to just be you with either being desexualized or over sexualized. It's like, how can we just be ourselves and be loved and respected and honored for exactly who we are?
Amen. And I was just having this conversation with somebody yesterday, very similar, in regard to like, this world we live in is so extreme. It's so extreme. So when we are able to harness our power and say, this is how I see myself, yo soy una rebelde, because I choose not to live in those extremes. I'm going to find my own balance. I'm going to find my own real narrative and perspective of myself and live by it, not just desire it, but live by it as much as I can every day, and break away from these extremes. Because you're right, like with moms, it's like, oh, this is your role and like that's all you do, and you're devoted to your children, and your everything else is non-existent anymore, right? And that's not true. In the work that I do, I see some moms, and it's like, it's such a disservice. It's like, you have so much more and you want to reconnect back to that, and keep that flame alive, but there's so much around you that's like blowing it out, blowing it out. So like you're constantly having to like, sometimes people give up. And I want to like really encourage, like, no, let's not give up, because that's who you are at your essence, and it's your power. And then we get to transmit that. And that could be medicine in like reducing the transmitting of like generational trauma, or toxic culture trauma too. So in that, when we are in our presence of our full power, we slow down the transmissions, and we're able to then pass on what we really is going to be much more helpful for the next generation. So yeah, I love your dreams. I'm like, what did I dream? I dreamt nothing last night. I think one thing that I noticed with my dreams, last week I was under a lot of stress, a lot of stress. So I dreamt with all the elements. I dreamt with fire. I dreamt with water. I dreamt with earthquake. But in all of my dreams, I always had some sense of like I'm gonna be okay. Like I dreamt like floods were coming in, and were coming through the door, but then through the door also came this long canoe. And
With the
that was
mold.
yeah. It was like a long, long line. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. When I was dreaming the earthquake, get this one. This one's like interesting. It started like really like hitting hard at the earthquake. Everything was shaking. And I just start laughing. I'm like, kind of like manic, like, ha, 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 ha. And then I was like, agárrense, but like in a way, like, grab onto your pants, like, here we go. Like, it I was like, look at you, girl. Your dream being all, that's fierce. And I hold on. The reason I like holding on to dreams like that, because it's when I don't feel like that, I'm like, there was a part of me that did feel that in that dream. That was like everything shaking. I'm still laughing. I'm still in my joy. So that's why I think when we get to remember dreams, like write them down, dissect them. It's a way to tune into yourself. Parts of you that are needing more support, and parts of you that are like, remember, I'm here. I got you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Good stuff. So we've covered a lot of ground. So dreams being part of our hope, tuning into yourself, tuning into others, during these really challenging times that are real and present and can be triggering, right? Can be really triggering, and things that we have gone through the past or fears about the future. So I think I love this episode so much, because we're really grounding ourselves into the present and be like, hey, what do we have here? What tools? Who are nuestra gente? Who's your soul sister that, we can be there for each other and transmit that love and hope and joy and healing to each other. Yeah. What are your thoughts about our episode so far, Chica?
I love every single episode we do. It's my opportunity to connect with you. I've already told the listeners a lot of times that this show is really my excuse to just like have more interaction with you and Siobhan. So they just get to be part of it, and hopefully enjoy it too. But like when you were mentioning that earthquake in Agarense, like it made me remember a very important time as an elementary school student, when we had a major earthquake. And for some reason, I was not scared. And I actually took it upon myself to go, because you know how like when there's an earthquake at a school, you all have to go out to the yard, and everyone kind of lines up in their class and their grade level. So I took it upon myself to go to every single class and like comfort every kid that seemed scared and be like, it's okay. And I was like this little kid. And it's funny because my mom is a cafeteria worker. At least she was at the time, a member of SEIU Local 99, striking at the LAUSD right now with UTLA. But anyway, she was so worried because she thought that I was going to be scared and like huddled in a corner. So when she comes out from the cafeteria to come find me, and I'm all like, the chismosa, like trying to help all the other kids, she's like, oh, okay, so you're not scared? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I know this is like a natural phenomenon. The earth sometimes just needs to shake. Um,
Oh my God.
and I think that's the first time that, like, I guess other people started seeing me as a leader. Um, and then shortly thereafter, I actually did run a successful campaign to keep our technology center because they were going to remove it due to budget cuts. So it's just interesting how these times of crisis can tap into different things within you, and your strength to be able to help your fellow human being. Yeah, because for some reason, I guess I trust Mother Nature a lot, even like through turbulence. Like, I think the turbulence always ends up in something that, like, I guess I believe in looking at the silver lining. I will not ever say that everything happens for a reason, because like when some people told me that when Adelita passed on, and I'm like, no, there is no reason like for this. Like, you cannot tell me that. That was like, I actually had to go off on some people for telling me that. But I do look to see like how we can move forward, in a way that makes us stronger, no matter what the situation is. And that's just how my mom has taught me to be, because she's always just been such a pillar of strength. And I look up to her for being able to raise, a family of 5 kids, on a elementary school education, in this capitalist country that is very racist. And um, so among all of the turbulence, among all the pain and the racism and all the isms, right, that our people are able to persevere and like get through really hard stuff and come out at the other end stronger. Like, that to me gives me hope that they can throw everything at us. They can build another wall, they can do their worst, and we'll still be here, and we'll still be strong and persevering. And there's going to be 7 generations after this, and we just have to make sure that we pave that path so that they have the best possible time that they can, and center ourselves in joy, so that even when there is that stress, you just say agárrense, and we'll be there, we'll be agarrándonos de la mano, and we'll come out the other end stronger.
Yes. Ay, yeah, 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 yeah. My heart is just like dancing. Thank you. That was a beautiful way I would say, like, even to start wrapping up our episode. You summarized all of it, bringing it back to like us as a community. And yeah, like there are things that in helping, right? Like slow down, right? Like, if you're like, how do I help? How do I support? Slow down, right? Like, you're right. When people say things like that, it's like, so you obviously you're not in my shoes. You don't, so it's like, we can slow down and just be like present. And that's what you had mentioned, right? Being present, and
Mhm.
like, and going and making these discussions a little bit more safe to have, right? Like, finding area, people, spaces where we can safely talk about our experiences, and then like stay together, through this all. And I love the 7 gender, because absolutely, right, we're going to hold on to this hope. We're moving forward. Tenemos que, queremos, we have to, we want to, and let's do it. Let's do it in a way that we are also cultivating, the weaving in the grieving, and also like the joy, and like, like really honoring each other, and then being together. I love that. Oh my gosh, Anna. Well, thank you so much. You've been listening to 96.5 FMLP. You're listening to the Que Madre Show. Thank you for being with us, with your host, Ana Rosa Rizzo and Ali Cortez a las órdenes. Again, always missing our soul sister, Siobhan Hoover. And this has been in partnership with Que Madre, with Bienestar CCC, and also Warrior Mother. So thank you for listening and passing on to my soul sister. Last words for our episode and our listeners today.
I hope you liked my cosmic background, with in front of our earth. Just remember to treasure our earth no matter what, and treasure each other, and know that you are a gift, you are loved, and we'll be here next Thursday for you.
Muchas gracias. We love you. We appreciate you. And stay connected with us. We're on the show and on YouTube and on Instagram. So if you have any questions or have any requests for the show, let us know. We're here for you. Cuídense.